Welcome to a new update, and in this update we're going to cover Bitcoin again. We're going to look at the levels that you should be watching if you want to trade Bitcoin, if you want to scalp Bitcoin, swing trade Bitcoin and potentially even invest into Bitcoin. That's the topic for today, but before we're going to continue, make sure to subscribe beneath, like this YouTube update, and also check out my Twitter and Instagram where you can find daily content on the markets. And if you are ready to actually trade in the cryptocurrency markets, definitely check out the link in the description beneath. We've extended the 35% discount for the entire week. So if you want to join, you can see the trade IDs on Twitter where we have been profitable, but also you can see my staking portfolio, my trading portfolio. You can educate yourself. We've made that 35% discount for you, so you can check it out down beneath. It's extended for the entire week. Now, when we're looking at the markets at this point, we've already concluded yesterday that the markets are showing some serious momentum. The altcoins have been down 80 to 90%. Some of them have not been making any new high since May 2021. So actually, we're already heavily into a bear market. However, what we are seeing currently is that people are chasing the runs again. So the topic about silica is heavily, on which I might be doing an actual update today, covering the altcoins, but also covering the why silica went up and how you should be approaching those coins. But overall, people are chasing back into those coins given the fact that those are showing green candles. It's also the momentum right now with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is rallying and people are eager to get into the markets at this stage. But when Bitcoin is at 34k, there was zero to no interest. I can see it on social media too. The engagement and the exposure are increasing quite heavily. So what should you be doing when you want to get into Bitcoin at this point? Well, with the investing part, it is quite simple. With the investment part, you're making a fundamental thesis about the macroeconomics and you're going to decide what allocation of your portfolio is going to be allocated towards Bitcoin. In that calculation, you're going to think about the odds of Bitcoin being lower or higher at this point in 5 to 10 years time. So if you consider the fundamental growth of crypto at this point, I think that investing at this stage through a DCA strategy is still a very optimal choice. Because if it is going to fail, then we might be seeing Bitcoin at 10 to 20k. But if it's going to be great in between now and 5 to 10 years, Bitcoin can easily do a 10 or 15x. So investment approach is always quite simple at this stage. I think we are still relatively early with the growth of crypto. And based on that fact, if you want to invest into crypto, you can easily just use that DCA approach and just buy a tiny bit every month. And I've finally met some people who are actually doing that, just using a part of their salary to buy Bitcoin and eat partially every month. And that is probably the best strategy most of you should be doing. Now, when we get towards the swing trading and the day trading part, that's what we're going to discuss when it comes to the charts, as then you're going to use TA a bit more and FA a bit less, as you're just going to make risks based on the chart. So let's head towards those and discuss the optimal choices. So when we're looking at the price action of Bitcoin, we've already been covering the investing part, in which you can easily conclude that you can use the DCA strategy, right? Sometimes it's not optimal if something is overextended. So when you're looking at Bitcoin at 65k, the indicators are also looking quite overheated. That is actually the moment to start using the DCA strategy to close your positions, to be able to buy back on a lower level. And that's always how you can swing those positions or those build-ups of your portfolio. And we're going to cover that on this YouTube channel relatively soon when I'm back in the Netherlands, so probably a few weeks from now, as I'll be traveling to Miami next week and Paris after. But we're going to cover that on this YouTube channel in how you should be approaching an investment portfolio, but also how you should be approaching a trading or staking portfolio. Now, when we're looking at the scalp trading or swing trading part, we can definitely conclude that the current momentum is upwards when it comes to Bitcoin, right? So we are having a period of relatively 2 weeks in which we are grinding up, and currently we have been breaking these highs here. The question will be, how far are we going to correct, and how far we're going upwards first before we're going to correct, and how heavy will that correction be happening? Yesterday we have been concluding one thing. If we are going to lose 45k, we are having a fake out here, and then we are ready to test lower parts of the market. So I think that if we are losing 45k, the markets are going to nosedive just like they have been doing here. In that case, you can look for some shorts if we are dropping back into the range, and then you're looking for some optimal trades there, and then you're probably also going to close your longs overall. However, in this current uptrend, and what we have been seeing here is a relatively small corrective move. We've also had a small corrective move here and fast breakout after. Right now the momentum is bullish. So what do you want to see? Well, 45k is the optimal level that everyone is looking at. So clearly you don't really want to get there, because then the chances of nosediving heavier are quite, well, let's say the odds of correcting heavier there are going to increase the moment we are hitting the 45k range. So you want to have a relatively short and flat correction in which we can start targeting the area around 52k, and probably the highs there too, so maybe 52.5k. If you want to swing trade, I would still be looking at 45k overall for spot longs, or I would be looking at just a heavier correction taking place here. So just not entering any trade at this point unless you see a standard correction of 15 to 20%, and then you can evaluate which levels it's currently on and whether we are still bullish or not. That is probably the strategy that you want to do with the swing trading part. Definitely the trend is currently upwards, but we have to stay above 45k. So if you get the opportunity of getting into a swing trade where Bitcoin hits 52.5, comes back to 46k for a normal corrective move, that might be a swing trade option for yourself. When we're looking at scalp trading, we are looking at the lower time frames, right? So right now we are chasing here. Probably we are going to take the high one more time to actually squeeze the stops out there and then have a slight reversal. What we are seeing in this construction is that during the entire trend we have not been getting the optimal corrective move. So if we are seeing this trend, this one is still fine, but it starts to accelerate, in which we don't get a retest at 41.2, we're getting a retest at 42k, we're not getting a retest at 43.3, and we probably also are not going to get a retest at 45k. So what level are we looking at for potential plays? I think we can be looking at a little higher. So this entire region here that we've got is the level at 45.7, which previously was the support of this range, and now probably is going to be tested at some point again, and then we are not getting 45k, but we're getting 46 to 45.7. If you want to build a long position, if you want to build a day trade position, I guess this is probably the strategy that you're going to look at, in which you're taking a stop probably beneath any of these lows. You're going to target or looking for the long around 45.7, and then you're targeting the range high, as I'm not assuming that we're going to get one direct continuation above these highs here. I think we're just back into this range. I have to chop a little before we can start deciding whether we're going to go for an all-time high or not. So when we're getting to a conclusion of this short update, investing, I guess I've discussed that. We're going to make an update somewhere later this week where we're going to cover that some more. If you want to day trade or scalp trade, I think you're not looking at any shorts at this point. I think the area for 52k shorts is probably what you should be looking at, and longs probably around 45.7k is the one to optimally hit there, as that's the range low. Swing trading, probably you're just waiting for a 20% correction to take place, or just a multi-day correction, as then you are eager to get into a position if the trend is continuing to stay upwards. Finally, if you want to trade more with me, and if you want to trade with the team and my portfolios, check out the link in the description beneath. Have a wonderful day. I'll be enjoying Binance Blockchain Week one more day. I'm going to the Elrond meetup tonight in the Burj Khalifa as well. Don't do stupid shit. I won't be doing that. Don't chase green candles. Have a wonderful day. Subscribe beneath, and I'll see you soon.